Cheers, friends. Thank you so much for being here. I'm all about a fun background today. I'm playing with Distress Oxides and inks with a unique blend and then stamping and stenciling my way to a birthday card full of good cheer. Let's get started and work on our backgrounds. I have a stenciling mat, some hammer-mill, smooth cardstock, and then 3 colors of Distress Oxide inks. I do not have the ink pads, so I do use the reinkers. You can use either one, whichever one you have. And I'm starting out with ink blending on some prize ribbon blue. I love this color of blue, it's so vibrant. And I'm just doing a nice block of color at the top of my cardstock, layering up each layer of blending so it kind of smooths out and creates an even blend. It will soak in and start to blend on its own, so there is a little bit of brush marks, but they will dissipate as you layer up each color and go back in and blend over and over again. So for my second color, I have a pretty orange, and it is the dried marigold. And then I'm coming in with my third color, which is Festive Berries. I just thought this was a unique color blend. I don't see it very often, and I kind of like the combo. It's almost sunset-ish. It's also very boyish, so masculine friendly. I thought the colors weren't too girly. And when I was done ink blending, I decided to use up all that ink. I didn't want to get rid of it since it's, there. So I added some water and started ink smushing using watercolor paper this time. I wanted to make sure that the ink moved and created a smoother background. Sometimes with cardstock, it'll just get really blotchy and it won't move as much. So that's why I decided to do the ink blending with watercolor paper. Once all of those were done, I dried them with my heat tool, and now I'm going to come in with a pop of color. Layering Distress Oxides is really where all the fun begins. So I came in, added some water to the ink, picked up a small acrylic block, and started stamping over each band of color. This is going to create more dimension in your background, and it just really makes those colors pop. I was being careful not to mix the yellow and the blue too much, so I wanted to make sure I dried those in between because I didn't want to turn it into color state. Now to add a little bit of party to our mix, we're going to use the new layering confetti stencil. This is so fun. I use the same colors that in the Oxides, but in the Distress ink, and I stenciled over each of the same colors. And then I flipped that stencil over and shifted it just slightly, and that will give me 2 layers of confetti for my background. I'm just going to set those to the side so they dry really well, and then move on to stamping my sentiment and the fun whiskey glasses for the front of my card. I am using the Cheers sentiment from the Heart of Christmas and the whiskey glasses from If You Were Whiskey. They both have matching dies, which I love. It just makes die cutting or fussy cutting so super easy. I stamped each of those on some scrap paper, and then I'm using the negative to line up around that stamped image and then placing each die cut inside the middle so I have perfect alignment with these rubber stamps. All right, we're ready to start layering everything up. I just die cut out the center of that ink smushed background, and I'm going to glue the border, the leftover border, onto my card front. And then I'm going to pop up my ink blended panel right in the center, and then pop up my sentiment and 2 whiskey glasses because it's a party. And then we're going to add a few sequins just to finish everything off. And here's the finished card. It's such a fun way to send good cheer to make someone's day. And make sure you check out my blog to see how I use my leftovers for a second card. Thank you for creating with me. Be sure to like and subscribe to catch all my video tutorials. I hope you were inspired, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.